The Home Pros Radio Show.
I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections, and this is the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. Thanks for listening. A roof over your head. It's often listed among life's essentials like good health, food on the table, and clothes on your back. As important as it is to say we need a roof over our head, how much do we really know about our home's roofing system? Our friends at Freedom Roofing joined us in the studio to take us through some important topics related to the design and maintenance of this extremely important component of our home. Let's join the conversation.
We got the experts in the studio with us to talk about them this morning. We have Freedom Roofing. Introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, Levi Chesney, Freedom Roofing.
Jonathan Long, Freedom Roofing.
Tyler Milner with GAF.
What's GAF?
GAF, we're a shingle manufacturer.
So that's the manufacturer that you guys use at Freedom Roofing. We've got Levi here on the mic.
Yes, sir.
What is one of the biggest things that you always see as a bit of information that homeowners should really understand and know about their roofs?
Two big categories are going to be maintenance and then new installations. We just want to be sure that everybody, if you are looking at getting a new roof or getting your roof repaired, you know what you're going after. And noting that a roof is more than just the shingle, it's an entire system. And, the guys, the chucks and the trucks, we like to call them, that come out and kind of do the,
like that.
the little repairs. There are roofing professionals for a reason. Some of the photos that you guys have on here are things that we suggest you don't see on your roof. So
so let's go to that RIC Home Inspections photo from the field feature there. And we've got we got a handful of different things that I've noticed over the years. I collected those from some home inspections. The most common issue that I would see out of anything when people are identifying or notice that they have moisture penetration in their roof, would you agree that maybe the first place to go and check would be maybe your plumbing vents?
Let's try the plumbing vents first. They're actually designed, the plumbing vents have a rubber seal around that pipe. Most people think, all right, we got plumbing vents, we got a roof on, we're good forever. Those are actually a maintenance issue, and maintenance is a big thing that people don't actually pay attention to. They buy a new house, they think they've got a roof, and they're good until the roof gets changed. Turns out there's things up there that actually have to be maintained every 5 to 7 years, and plumbing vents are the first one.
That was going to be my next question, is how often should those be addressed? So, and that's one of those things, folks, if when we first started the show, we put the Home Pros Radio Show, the homeowner's checklist.
Oh, yeah. With the roof boots, you got the installation problems and you got the dry rot issue that happens. So, that was on, I think the roof boots were on that original list that we had. At least to look up there and, take a look at it, make sure you don't see splitting and all that around where it meets the pipes.
And that's one of those things, you print off that maintenance schedule that we put together for you. And right on there, remind yourself, you check your smoke detectors, you change your filters. Well, you do those on a monthly basis, but every 5 to 7 years, check those areas around your roof, especially your roof penetrations. And also another location on your roof that tends to leak a lot or leak first is any type of transition.
Transitions, where you've got one slope kind of goes from a semi-steep slope to a steeper slope, where we've got two intersections. Anywhere that we've got intersecting plywood, you can see that from the inside. Something that's not straight, it's going to have an angle on it. Those are places we'd like to see. And back to the boots real quick, what I tell everybody is if you go in the attic, leave the light off or just look around with the light off. If you see daylight coming through, that's probably not good. If we got daylight coming through, there's a place for water to come through as well. So.
Excellent idea. And let's go to that other photo that I have there with that funky-looking, crown-looking vent. What would you call that?
That wind turbine vent up there?
Yeah, whirly-gig?
There we go. The whirly bird, or lots of useful terms for that guy.
I bet if you turn the lights off in that attic, you'd probably see some daylight underneath that.
You're probably going to see some daylight under that guy. You're probably going to see some rotten wood under there as well. So.
I included that photo because I was thinking, this would be a good visual of how not to use roof sealant.
This is what we don't want to do with roof sealant.
Just cap it up real good.
If you're using a butter knife, it's the wrong application.
That's probably not a... Yeah, you definitely don't want somebody climbing on your roof with a bucket. That's not a...
The more you put on it, the better it works, right?
That's right. You
just put more.
That's it. More is always better. It always works. So, like, if you have a situation like that, what they obviously were having issues around that roof penetration. What would be the ideal? I know you're not standing there on the roof and looking at it, but where did this homeowner go wrong, would you say?
So, what they're probably going on wrong with this, one, we've got some rust going on the cap of this thing. And so it's definitely, we could have some penetration coming through the vent itself. Chances are this particular one we've probably got where it's actually the flashing goes into the roof bit where that intersection is. There's probably some kind of penetration issues there. These things are held down with nails. And so, nails back out, nails slip, and then the sealant that they used to hold those nails down with originally, just like the pipe boots, it's going to wear out over time. It is a form of rubber, and you put rubber in the sun long enough, it will dry out just like a rubber band.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that's what happens with those, going back to those plumbing vents. I mean, they're rubber. And that's why we have to maintain them every 5 to 7 years, is because they get really hot in the summer, cold in the winter, expansion and contraction. We get cracking eventually, and it's normal. I've even seen it where folks are like, oh, I need to call my roofer. But no, that's just the normal lifespan. That's what normally happens. So there are some maintenance issues that are involved with roofing, as we can see here. Now, you were talking about nails backing out, and that leads us to the bottom photo there. Folks, if you to see these photos, I know this is visual, to see these photos, go to our website. You can, they're not on our website yet, but go to our Facebook page, or you can go to our Twitter page at Home Pros Radio, and you'll see these photos. We'll also be sharing them on our website soon. That bottom photo, what do we have there? That looks to me like we probably have a roofing nail or a fastener backing out.
We have some type of nail backing out here, whether it be a nail that's holding down the decking or a nail that's holding down the shingle. We can't really see that, but we do know something's not right. Again, that heat from the attic, the cool from the outside, we've got lots of weather elements going on, and so that nail is literally levitating itself out of the shingle or out of the plywood itself. Really common cause, it again back to that kind of that roof maintenance thing, something that we want to take a look at, kind of figure out why it's doing what it is, and then we want to fix it. Because what eventually will happen is that nail is going to get really hot, and then it's going to puncture that shingle that it's raising up, and now we've got a direct line for water to come back into the roof. So,
would you say that that's probably maybe that plumbing vent boot or the plumbing vent roof penetration and high nails and exposed nails? Those are probably some of the most common causes of roof leaks.
Probably got the most common causes right there on that page.
Yeah, I gotcha. And probably, what's the best thing to do if you have a high nail and you can see it? Should you just pull it out?
You can pull it out, but I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to put another one in its place, and I'm actually going to seal it back down.
I got you.
That's where we're going to actually use some sealants.
Yeah.
We're not going to just...
there's your application.
There's your application for sealing.
But not a bucket.
Not a bucket. We don't want a whole bucket up there. But,
or a spatula. Don't use a spatula to put it on.
We don't want to put the sealant on top of the nail. We actually want to go under that shingle and seal it down correctly. So.
All right, perfect. That looks good. Excellent. And then the top picture there, we've got a shingle that is missing.
We've got one missing, yep. It looks like a wind. Probably has grabbed a hold of that guy, and that shingle is probably pretty brittle, and it's actually broken that shingle off.
Excellent. We are talking roofing with Freedom Roofing, which, by the way, if you want to get a hold of the folks at Freedom Roofing, how can we do that, Levi?
You can call us directly at 864-724-9797.
And online?
Roofwithfreedom.com or roofwithfreedom@gmail.com.
Roof with Freedom.
Roof with Freedom.
Good. I'm glad I asked you because I had the wrong website down.
Oh.
So let's fix that. Roofwithfreedom.com.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So we're talking about our... All right. RIC home inspections photo from the field. I don't know what happened to Paul. I don't know. I hope he's okay. Let's just say that.
He disappeared on us.
And our sounds are turned down. Anyway, so we're... Our photo from the field, and we were talking about that top photo there of the shingle that is missing. This is something that I commonly see in track housing neighborhoods. Right. And you see, you're looking at a roof and you have like a shingle that's missing, or you might even see them kind of slipped out of place. What causes that to happen?
So chances are when we see one similar to this picture here, this one here is actually wind damage, but if we see one that's actually slid down and you can tell that the shingle's, like it may be dangling or something like that, it's actually a high-nailed shingle. The way a laminated shingle works is there's two parts that go together, and that's where that nail is supposed to go, to hold those two parts together. What you're seeing is the installer actually put his nail too high, and so the two parts of that shingle, one is actually falling apart from the other.
Got it. And what about this, too? I've even seen it or heard it where... maybe the installer will get up there on the roof with his nail gun, lay the shingle down, and go pop, pop, pop. Hit the nails in the right places. He may be nailing the shingle perfectly, but his settings on his nail gun.
Too much pressure on the nail gun. And the nail gun settings change throughout the year. In the colder seasons, we can have a little more pressure. In the warm seasons, summer, we actually turn that nail gun down because shingles are made out of asphalt, and it gets really hot and pliable, and so you can literally shoot a nail all the way through a shingle. Guys just have to pay attention when they're installing. What we have our guys do is before we get started during the day, we're going to check the pressure on those guns, make sure that the nails are setting where they're supposed to. Again, middle of the day, you're probably going to change the pressure first part of the morning, middle of the day, end of the afternoon. Like I said, as shingles heat up, they become pliable. So
in this particular case, unlike the other ones, the roofing vent with all the caulk, that's an installation issue.
That's an installation.
But the plumbing vent and the high nail, those happen. Those are natural. Those are issues that just occur. But if you see slip shingles like we were just talking about, that is an installation issue.
That is an installation issue. Yes, sir.
And then another thing that we noticed in that photo, too, is one of the things I love about this is you can see the 3-tab underneath. So that tells us what? We've got multiple layers?
We've got multiple layers of shingle going on there.
Yeah.
And that is it. Even though the building codes, they will allow you to put 2 layers of shingle on a roof, it is not a practice that we like to use. It does not allow the shingle to breathe correctly. If anybody's ever picked up a bundle of shingles, they're really heavy. So we're going to take all those shingles and we're going to double it, putting that much more weight on top of your roofing system, on top of the structure of the roof. And it's not something that we suggest.
How many layers?
Legally, you can do 2 layers.
And we say legally.
We say legally in air quotes.
So don't do it.
It's not recommended. Let's bring our GAF guy in and tell us about why that's not recommended, because that's where we get into warranty issues. Is that not right?
Sure. So, we allow 2 layers. We definitely recommend just the one. And to go back to what you all were talking about with the system, when you do a second layer, you really are just replacing just the shingles. So whereas if you're going down to the bare plywood, you get the full inspection of the roof, the full components, you replace all of them, and it gives you an opportunity, and Levi can touch on, the plywood of your roof, the foundation of your roof.
Yeah. Well, let's break that down. If we're talking about our roofing as a system, and that's what we have to remember, folks, is it's a huge component of our home, a very important one. And it's more than just laying something on top of your roof so the water doesn't get in. We're talking about a number of different components that make a system that keep our homes dry and keep it well ventilated and keep it warm, warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Tell us about the different components of the roofing system that we need to be aware of.
Sure. And I mean, the way I'll phrase this for a lot of people, because, if your car engine's broke down, you don't want to just paint it. If you're having roof leaks and the shingles are aging out, you don't want to just put a new layer of shingle on top of that, or even just take the top layer of shingle off and put new shingles down and leave the old paper and all that kind of thing. So base layer is obviously going to be that plywood. We're going to strip everything off. You want to see exactly what's going on there. We have seen instances where when we pull, homeowner says, we don't have any leaks, no rot, anything like that. We pull all the paper off. We've got rotten plywood in places they never knew existed.
I'll see it when I'm in an attic during an inspection, and I'll see the stains and the damage on the sheathing underneath. And they're like, but we got a brand new roof. And I'm like, ooh.
You have a brand new roof. That means the guys probably left that original paper on there and just either put paper on top of that or put a shingle on top of the original paper. So, we want to make sure everything's stripped off so we can actually see what's going on. We're going to get down to the inside of the engine of that car. We want to see exactly what we're building on top of. So that's going to be your first layer of protections.
Which is the decking.
Decking. Second layer, we're going to come in. You want to go into the transitions like we talked about earlier. Anywhere we've got walls meeting roofs,
valleys,
places like that. Anywhere that there's where a shingle is going to end and either intersect a wall or another shingle, we want to put what we call an ice and water membrane down inside there. And it's actually a membrane that actually sticks down to the roof decking. That way, we know roofs are not waterproof. They're watertight. With that, we want to be sure that anywhere that there's water, anywhere that water can go in that may blow in from a wind-driven rain or something like that, we're going to make sure there's protection there so that if it does go in, we're now not damaging that base layer of plywood.
Chimney, right here, chimney is one of the places that I see problems all the time where people don't flash correctly around the chimney. So that is what you're referring to now, right? That's one of the areas.
Anywhere we've got where the shingle stops and meets something else, whether it be another shingle, a sidewall, anything like that, chimneys, anywhere, like I said, where that shingle butts into the end of that chimney, there needs to be, one, a special flashing there, and then two, we actually put an ice and water shield underneath that.
And we could do a whole show on just all the different types of flashing we can do. So we'll have to put that on the schedule, Shane. So we got flashing. What's the next step?
All right, so next we're going to actually put down a paper, and there's actually, again, we got lots of grades of paper. We actually like to use the GAF Belt Buster. It is a synthetic paper. My grandfather taught me to put down the original black paper. Problem with that is, after about 10 years, that stuff gets really brittle and dry. The guys working on it, they're not on purpose, but as they're walking, they're going to tear it. And so if water ever does get under a shingle, it's going to run down this paper. If there's a tear in that paper, it goes directly into the plywood. So we actually use a synthetic paper. It's almost a cotton-like material. It won't tear. It helps the roof breathe, and it adds that next layer of protection under the shingle.
Levi, finish our last couple of stages of our roofing system here.
So we've got the felt papers down now. We're going to actually apply a true starter shingle. Mm-hmm. First, we do it on the eaves and the rakes, and that is going to keep that heavy wind from picking shingles up and just rolling them off. Mm-hmm. We don't use a 3-tab shingle. We actually use a true starter shingle as part of that system. Then we put down the GAF 50-year laminated shingle, and then we're going to cap it off with a cap shingle, a ridge vent, so we can actually get the proper ventilation. And then we're going to cap that out with a true sill ridge vent. Again, not a 20-year shingle that's cut into pieces to look like a ridge vent. We want to make sure we've got everything lasting the same lifetime.
Gotcha. And we can get into the details and nitty-gritty of all these different aspects of roofing, but we have the basics. All of those elements installed properly are necessary in order to install a roof adequately. And it's not everyone seems to want to focus on the shingle, but there's all those different things. And that's one of the things that you guys do very well, from what I understand and seen at Freedom Roofing, is you really work hard to educate the customer so they
really
understand.
Want to educate the customer. I spend a lot of time explaining how everything goes together, and the shortest amount of time I spend is picking a shingle color. Yeah. And that's what everybody thinks, that the shingle color is the most important part. And you can pick any color you want. We just want to make sure that it's put down properly. So
when it's time, how do we know when it's time to replace that roof?
So things we're going to start noticing are those broken shingles. Mm-hmm. If you're standing on the roof in certain sunlight, you're going to see like a glare. It's actually fiberglass showing through the shingles. Roof leaks, obviously, a good one.
A shingle should bend but not break.
Shingles should bend but not break. There is a brittle test that we can do that kind of tells us how much roof life's left in them. And
then looking from the ground, if you're seeing the shingles are curling up at the edges,
starting to curl, those are that's a sign. Getting excessive heat, and shingles last different, depending on the shingle manufacturer and the way that it's installed. I've seen 20-year shingles that will last 30 years, and I've seen 30-year shingles that last 10. There is not one set, in 20 years I have to replace my shingles. It's not necessarily true. That's where we come in and just kind of look at everything and give you our opinion on a per-case basis.
We got a call it's Cleo from Greenville. Cleo, good morning.
Yes. What about if you see a lot of sandy-like stuff in your gutters that come run down?
So a shingle is actually designed, that granule is actually designed to come off. It's designed that way. Even on a brand new roof, we have lots of customers. As soon as the roof's put down, they get lots of granule in their gutters, and so they think that there's a problem, and it's really designed to come off for that reason. It is normal.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, it's when you see it excessive. Well, actually, usually if you see a lot of asphalt in your gutters, it probably means your gutters aren't pitched right.
They're not
probably more
right.
of a gutter issue.
Hold water and asphalt.
Exactly. So very good question, Cleo, and that's something that I wanted to try to hit on today, and I'm glad you called and asked about that. And just for that, you're going to be our next contestant on
the Home Pros Radio Show Trivia Challenge.
All right.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you another chance to win our Home Pros Radio prize pack. And we got a couple of questions based on what we talked about today. And we'll see how we do. All right? So, question one. Here we go. Question one. Oh, and you've got the folks here in the studio as a lifeline. So if you're not sure, ask for the lifeline, and they'll be able to help you out. We were talking earlier about the number of layers you should install on the roof. How many layers of shingles are allowable on a roofing installation?
You can have up to 2, but it's not advisable because it adds weight.
Excellent. Cleo, you rock. All right.
You've been paying attention.
Absolutely. All right. Now, a common roofing maintenance issue. This condition occurs when the roofing nails are set too deep into your roof decking during installation. Is it high nails, slipped shingles, or cracked plumbing boots?
heard you talk about high nails, but it doesn't sound like that would be it. I think I'm going to have to ask one of the experts.
We're going to do, this is the same thing you do on a water slide. What would you do? We're going to slide down that water slide.
Slide down a water slide?
High nails, slip shingles, or plumbing boots?
Let's go with B.
B. Correct.
Oh, okay.
That's slip and slide. There we go.
All right, how about this one? Ready? We want to think of our roof as a system, not just a covering. Which of these items are a part of your roofing system? Your decking, your felt, your ice and water shield, your roofing paper, your starter strip, and your shingle, or all of the above?
All of the above.
All right. We're doing well. 3 for 3, right? Are you keeping score over there, Shane?
Yeah, I got it. It's 3 for 3 so far.
All right, good deal. All right, how about...
Can we stop now?
You don't want to press your luck.
You're killing it. You're killing it, Cleo. You got it.
Well, here about. Let's do one last one, and this one has a little Olympic twist on it, so this will be fun. All right, ready? We know the Winter Olympics. We had the closing ceremonies last night, so I was inspired to write this question.
Okay.
All right, relatively new as an official Olympic sport. It was added to the Olympic program in the 1998 Nagano Games. This is also a feature that is noted in shingles if your roof is of advanced age.
Curling.
All right.
Way to go, Cleo.
5 for 5. And I appreciate you being a part of today's show. Good job. How about a hand for everyone for Cleo? Yeah.
Thank you, Cleo.
Also, a special thanks to Levi Chesney and the folks at Freedom Roofing who made themselves available to educate us about our roofing systems. If you want to contact Freedom Roofing directly, you can reach them at 864-724-9797 or find them online at roofwithfreedom.com. That's going to do it for this episode of the Home Pros Radio Show podcast. Don't forget to click subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of our podcast episodes. And also, if you feel that our show is helpful, please leave a review so other folks can find us easier. I'm Tommy Donovan with RIC Home Inspections. We'll catch you next time on the Home Pros Radio Show podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com, where you can contact us directly and also learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. It's the Home Pros Radio Show online at homeprosradio.com or on the radio at 94.5 WGTK, The Answer.